Hi, for our weekly devotional, I read something from my devotional book from Henry Nouwen that many of you have heard me mention multiple times. That fits so well with Bo's sermon on Sunday. And so this is from November 17th entry in the You Are the Beloved devotional. Nouwen writes, "The first questions are not how much do we do or how many people do we help out, but are we interiorly at peace?" Jesus' actions flowed from his interior communion with God. His presence was healing and it changed the world. In a sense, he didn't do anything. Everyone who touched him was healed, Mark 6:56 said. When we love God with all our heart, mind, strength, and soul, we cannot do other than love our neighbor and our very selves. It is in being fully rooted in the heart of God that we are creatively connected with our neighbor as well as with our deepest self. In the heart of God, we can see that the other human beings who live on this earth with us are also God's sons and daughters and belong to the same family that we do. There, too, I can recognize and claim my own belovedness and celebrate with my neighbors. Our society thinks economically. How much do I give to God? How much do I give to my neighbor? And how much do I give to myself? But God says, "Give all your love to me, and I will give to you, your neighbor, and yourself." We are not talking here about moral obligation or ethical imperatives. We are talking about the mystical life. It is the intimate communion with God that reveals to us how to live in the world and act in God's name. And so as we continue to think about the greatest commandments that Jesus gives us, to love our neighbor, or to love God and love our neighbor, I think that starts, at least according to what Nouwen is saying, and I would agree, with having that relationship with God. So I don't know where you are in your faith journey or in this time in your life with God. I don't know if God seems distant to you, if God seems as close as ever. But I would encourage you, no matter where you are, as I have encouraged you many times before, to be intentional about your time with God. To not just say, a fleeting prayer because you feel like you have to, but rather to intentionally spend time with God. In scripture, reading the Gospels, you could take the opportunity to read through an entire gospel. I just did that with our two confirmation students, Ella and Mark. We read through the Gospel of Mark together. That's a task that you could take up yourself to grow closer to God. Because the more time we spend in scripture and the more time we spend in prayer, the more time we are putting towards getting to know who God is. God is always with us, reaching out to us. But as I told Mark and Ella the other day, we also have to turn towards God. And we can't love our neighbor and we can't love God if we don't first turn toward God. So I hope that you will take this to heart and that through it, God will bless you with peace and love. May God be with you now and always.